Perfect.
Yes,
So,
sorry about the delay.
hi everyone, and no, it's okay.
Hello.
Hi everyone again. Welcome to our book club tonight. Tonight we are gonna listen to the book "You, Your Child, and the School Navigate Your Way to the Best." The book is written by Sir Ken Robinson, and we'll have the honor to listen to Aaron tonight for the brief summary of the book. Thank you, Aaron. You have the floor.
Yeah, thank you, Sister Colo. And at the beginning, I had to apologize because I didn't read it the way I want it, but definitely I'll present something that it will be
And
good enough.
your voice seems really low.
Is it?
Uh,
Get close.
i- is it my problem or is the same with everybody?
Is it good now?
I have mine
Yeah,
to
it's
max,
better.
but
Yeah, try more
Yeah.
because I also was I couldn't hear you very well.
Okay, let me remove my earphone and just talk through. How is it now?
Yeah. It's good on
How
our
is it?
side.
okay.
Okay,
I
let's
can
try.
hear
I
him, but
cannot
it's
hear
just
you
that it is
guys.
really
Yeah,
low, but it's
it's not
okay.
like the other days.
Uh,
We can hear you from.
can you hear me?
It's okay.
I I can hear you. Josh, is it okay?
Yeah, let's go ahead. I think it will clear up as we go. But I can hear him. It's not loud enough, but
No, okay.
I can hear him.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
So let me present it, my screen, share my screen, should I say? And enter screen, this one, share. So this book is written by two authors. Can you see?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And is written by Sir Ken Robinson, and he was famous on one of his presentation on TED. I don't know if the person who was suggesting this book saw it on TED, but he's a very, very personality or activist, should I say, that one school doesn't fit everyone. One style of schooling doesn't fit everyone. And the book was written with Lou Aronica. When I saw Lou, I thought that he was a lady, but when I do some research, I realized that he's a man. So this is Sir Ken Robinson. He has a PhD. His background, as I was saying, he loved to say that not one style of schooling should fit everyone. So he's activist of creativity in the schooling system, and he was born in 1950 and passed away recently in 2020. He was born in UK as the Sir because he's the only UK that used the system of knighthood by calling certain people a Sir or a Dame. And he was a professor as well at California University. And Lou is a guy that I think he loves to write books, but most of the time he's the second author of the books, and he wrote a lot of books as well. So, so in this book, it's kind of a guide that, okay, the system was already letting me to have my child in a school, then I'll just lay back and wait for the system to produce the schooling of my child. But it's not the case. In this book, he's advising us that we have to be active. We have to understand the system. We understand the child, we understand ourselves, and we understand the system to suggest something better than what they were suggesting to us. Because he has a three traditional, alternative, and creative schooling. But he was telling that you have to know your child before you can decide which one worked for you. So as a parent, we are in the front of a three-way. Which one is best? It depends on the child and it depends on yourself. It's not that okay, because I went through literature, I have a back A or back B, my child has to do the opposite or my child has to do the same thing. It's not like that. You have to understand your child because there are certain people, certain child, when you start talking to them about numbers, they might get lost. Or the opposite might come that when you are talking to them as in numbers, they are very, very happy to talk to you in those numbers. So you have to know your how your child, yourself, and the system. And the school as well. He gave some background why the school was created, and most of the time is not in our favor. Is just to produce like a machine producing the same product to feed the, the the workforce. So do you want your child to be like that, or do you want your child to have more creativity to understand what is going on? It's not like, oh, he's just going for the exam. I want him to have a. But when he gets out, he doesn't have any intelligence, or I will not say intelligence, but emotional intelligence. Because what does that mean? It means that what you are saying to someone, you have to put yourself in their shoes to see how they feel. It's not just throw word out that is good to as, oh, I have more diploma than you, I have more degree than you, so I can talk to you anyhow, anywhere. So he's advising that we have to know which one is good for us. And know yourself as well, because if you have a, I remember that a child of a child, he knows that his parent doesn't know how to read, but back home, there every morning the child was supposed, because the mom pretend that she can read and ask the child to bring the copybook and read the lesson to her by heart. But knowing that the parent could not read, that child was reading the same lesson every day. Until one day, a person around say, I'm surprised that it's only the same lesson that this child is always reading to her mom. What is going on here? And they realized that what is in the copybook was not exactly what she was he was reading to the mom. So you have to know yourself, have your experience, and if you cannot succeed, you need help. People can be around, like your friend, your cousin, anyone who can help you to navigate this situation, because it's not easy. Even we who went to school might be difficult for us to navigate this. And also recognize that as a parent, we have some biases. Biases might be, oh, like Indian people, they always force their children to go for doctors, lawyers, and accountants. Those are the three words that they know. Sometimes they might go for engineering, but they want those things. You cannot come to the Indian parent and say, oh, Dad, I want to do fashion design. What does that mean? Who is going to buy from you? I mean, for them, is a local shop who can do that. You cannot go and spend 4 years or 10 years and say that you are fashion design or have PhD in fashion design. So you have to recognize that we parents, we have some biases, and we had to took that one into consideration. And also the education system. The education system, as I was saying in the introduction, they want a certain type of people. They want those who cannot challenge their authority. They want those who will be accepting the order. It's not those who can think on their own. The system doesn't want that too much. So we had to recognize that as well, saying that to challenge our children, even when they get home, challenge them and ask different questions. Ask different questions so that they can know that, oh, there's a different way to do things. It's not all the time what the teacher is saying at school that is what. And the curriculum. The curriculum is the fact that what are they teaching to them? There is funny that the people who are creating internet, creating gadgets, creating Apple, all those ones, they don't want their children to touch computers. They have a special school. I saw a documentary in California that they have a special school and they're paying more than 60,000 a year, so that when they get there, when they get to that school, they don't touch anything as a gadget. They are debating. They are learning how to integrate themselves. They are teaching them how to have a emotional intelligence. They are teaching them, but no, they are not touching computer or so. Maybe they know something that we don't know, but is that school fitting everyone? Maybe not. Why? Because who has 60,000 to pay for their children to attend those schools? So we have to be aware of the curriculum as well, if it is fitting our own standards or if what they want to do in the future. And testing. Yes, there are a lot of people who finish with A at school, but they are not good in the society. They are not good to be to be entrepreneurs. As Robert Kiyosaki wrote on one of his books, he said the A students are working for C students. The A students are working for the C student because he considered himself that he's not that smart, but today he's controlling a lot of PhD people, a lot of A student people who are working for him. So yes, testing is good, but at the same time, we want to teach them how to manage their own money, how to be an entrepreneur, how, because we know from this reading that it's not necessary going through the pathway that they gave to us that is good. We had to think on our own. So testing. Examine the overemphasis on standardization testing and its impact on student well-being and learning. Because you might work, but when you go to the standardization test, it might not work. I remember when I was going for my MBA, I went for GMAT. I couldn't get the points. I couldn't get the number of points that I want for that university. I couldn't get. Why? Because I didn't know the techniques. And one of the techniques that I learned from that is back home, they say, oh, read the test and go and answer the question. But for those standardization questions, it's better for you to read the question before you come to the test. So by reading the question, you know already what attention you are paying in the test. So if they ask you the color of the car, you know that, oh, I'm looking for the color of the car. So when you are reading the test, you immediately see those questions, those answers, and immediately pick them. But I don't know if I didn't, my back home, my teacher didn't tell me, or maybe I missed that class day. But back home, we read the test and we answer the question. So those kind of things is very important to know. And So he, as an author, he is thinking that there's is not only two ways to do it. There are alternative. Maybe your child want to go in the field to learn there. He want to touch things before. So he's preaching for this alternative that we have to be aware. And I mean, you can school them at home and take them to the field. Maybe every year you are on the road for 6 months to teach them. So he's advocating for something like that. It's not, it might not work for everyone, but those who have money or those who have the tenacity is good. So when you are putting your child in the system, you have to take look at the big pictures. Is it working for him? Is it going to work for me? Is it going to help him to find a job in the future? Is it going to help him to get money? Because what I notice in this country as well, sometimes knowing that they are counting how many people are getting their high school diploma, when you get to the last class or grade and you are not moving, they will force you to move out. They will say, oh, don't worry, we will give you this subject which is very clear, or fashion design, or do you know how to recite poem? Then we can count it as a subject. Or and they will make sure that you just get out because they want to count the numbers. But it doesn't work when you finalize your high school diploma and you are in university. It will be a tough for you to sell. So here is some takeaways that we had to, is the fact that we are individual. What works for Thomas might not work for me. What works for Charlie might not work for me. So we have to be aware of that. And also the parent has to get involved. It's not that, oh, the system will help me to, no, we have to get involved. We have to make the educational flexible. It's not that, oh, everyone has to do this one. No, you have to be flexible to know what is going on in our child life, and also think about whole development, not only the brain, but do they know how to work with their hand? Do they know how to change maybe oil in the car? Those are kind of things that might be very important in life. On that, I think I have few questions that we can ask ourselves to see if this book is a guide for us. I mean, the book is forcing us to think very, very far from what we normally think. I mean, so how can we better understand our children's unique learning style? As I was saying, people might love to touch before they can know what is going on. Other people, like me and my wife, if you wear any color, she will tell you after 3 months that, oh, you were wearing yellow that day or you were wearing blue. Me, I cannot remember. But tell me about numbers, saying that, oh, it was 25%. Maybe after 4 months, I'll still remember and tell you that it was 25% that we are talking about that day. So every person is different. So we have to be aware of that. What are some ways to advocate a more holistic curriculum in school? Have you considered alternative education model? What are your thoughts? How do you standardize test impact your children's learning experience? In what way can we as parents support our children's creativity? So when you want to take the floor, I will advise you or want you to talk into this type of, if you could get some answer, that would be very, so when I finish, I will leave this one on so that we will come back on it. On that, I think I finished. And if you guys have questions, we can debate and see how we can, how can we get the right way for our children. It's bad that is now that I'm reading this book, I've already closed the debate of creating more. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron, for the great presentation.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
love it.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is and well presented. Without waiting, I think the floor is open, and we can kind of discuss those questions. Yeah, education style is a different learning style is different per person. So the floor is open. If anyone wants to say anything, go for it. We have 3 minutes to uh, to discuss. Okay, I'll put the timer on. All right. Thomas, you want to go?
Oh, not yet.
Oh, who wants to go? Who wants to go?
Okay, yeah, I can go
Yeah,
if
hello.
you want
Okay.
to.
No,
Please.
no, Fred and Evie, let me. I know you like. Let me. I can talk. Thank you, for Arun, for
Okay, go
the
ahead.
yeah, for the wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah. The book, I think is never. I guess for those who already have children, it's a good education. You can do it for your grandchildren. You can kind of guide your kids to do what is right. And for us who haven't started that journey yet, this is a wonderful education. Few things that I really got from the book is to, as a parent, we wanna see what sometimes we haven't achieved. We want to make the children do that. And this book is advising
The,
to
the,
really let
the air,
the kids.
the wind is not helping
Stan,
us
we
to.
can't hear you well.
Oh, sorry, we are outside walking.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the wind is maybe if you stand somewhere it might help, but
Okay,
Yeah, there's
okay,
wind.
okay, okay,
Or
okay.
maybe remove
Is
from the
this
speaker.
better? Hmm.
Yeah, remove from
Yeah,
the speaker.
yeah. It's not even on speaker. I put a earphone on. Is this better?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So as I was saying, we want to see what we haven't achieved in our kids, and this book is really advising against that. We need to let the kids explore, and give them a chance also to identify themselves, and then create a good environment to support whatever we see in them, to help them be the best in that. Um, is sometimes Steve and I we question the system here, we question everything, but I think is really what your children become is what you input in them at home. It's true, they spend a lot of time at school, but if they can if you can have a good relationship with them and let them know that okay, you have your boundaries, but you let them know you are here for them no matter what, I think they rely more on you at home, knowing that you are there all the time for them. So I think the support at home and the environment that we have for them at home really also plays a huge impact into the learning development and also who they really end up being. And to me, what I've learned so far, there's two parts. You can be so good at books, but really bad at really life, life development. And the school does not teach life development. School teaches us to just um, do what we have to do to make money or whatever it is. But I think it's a combination, and the book did a good job on letting us know that we have to understand our kids, understand the school, and also understand ourselves really to be able to better accommodate the children in whatever path that they choose. Now, I didn't get to the question that Prayer Arun asked, but you know, I, I think how can we better understand our kids and unique learning style? Is I think is everything is just that relationship that we have with them at home. and everything falls apart. Everything falls into alignment based on the relationship you have, and the relationship is made of knowing yourself, knowing your kids, and helping them be the best that they can. So that's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Chriselle.
Chriselle.
All right. Thank you for your input. That was very good. Anyone else?
Yeah, let me
Yeah,
go
let
next.
me jump.
Okay,
Okay,
go
go
Okay,
ahead.
ahead,
I am.
Josh.
I want to take that third point of alternative education models, because I'm saying this just a few months back, we were back at home and we were talking to our kids because they are concerned. They have little kids in school and they are concerned with all the stuff that's going on and also the system of teaching kids. For instance, in the book, there is where the author talks about the schools that are there just for making money, right? And we saw that because we're talking to our daughter, one of the school that the kids go to, they have it's like where the kids can just buy stuff, like candy and whatever. But kids are coming there with a lot of cash and sometimes with credit cards. I mean, I'm talking about 7, 8 year olds, and the spending is crazy because I think the school is um, it's encouraging kids to spend, and that's how they make their money from the tuck shop in the school. And you start to realize that something is very wrong with the school system. So we talked a lot about it, and we were talking of homeschooling. But I think the issue that most of our kids are facing now is they're either single parents or they are parents where both parties have to go to work. And as a result, homeschooling cannot work because for homeschooling to work, one of the parents must stay at home and take care of the kids. So it looks like we are back to square one. But I want to hop onto this issue because I believe that homeschooling is really the way to go. That's how I believe. I was self-taught. I didn't do most of the school, going to the physical school like many people do. So I learned all by myself at home. But what I found was that when you learn at home, like homeschooling, you can finish the curriculum in half the time, which means that the child has enough time to attend to their other interests as well. And they're not just focusing on the numbers and what they have to learn at school, but they have time to develop in other areas that interest them. That is a big thing with homeschooling. But also, homeschooling forces children not just to learn the way we are taught at school, but to learn how to learn. Because I mean, I'm talking from personal experience, and I have developed different methods that made me excel quite considerably during my learning years. And I believe that it was a result of having to learn all by myself and not being in a school. So um, I think that is where we need to focus our um, future discussions in terms of can we bring homeschooling into our homes? Can we get our children to be homeschooled? What does it take to be homeschooled? And we need to develop that and make it a reality, because now I think after this book, we all realize that the public school system is not doing the thing that it's supposed to be doing. So I think I'll stop there.
All right.
Thank you,
Josh.
Justin. Thank you.
All right. Thomas, you're on this.
Close enough.
Thank
And we
you.
have to start with the
Yeah, thank you, Fry Josh.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah. So first, I would like to thank Nasif for the presentation, right? Because this book is completely different from most of the book we usually read, right? About like mind, finance, health, or the on topic. But this is talking about the main job, right? The most difficult job in the world is raising kids. And it's also a job. Sometimes some parents say, I don't work, I stay home only. But when you stay home raising kids, you're doing the toughest, the highest level of job. So yesterday was Mother's Day, and I think Father's Day is coming. And if you ever raise a kid, you did a great job. It's a job. So coming back to this book, uniqueness of each kid. The system here, I would like to compare a little bit the system here to the system back home, talking about like Benin. There is no such thing as homeschool when we were growing. It's always the same schooling. The only little difference is like you can go and do accounting, you have some technical school, but it's only one in each big city. You don't have two, right? You have one Boycon, one Port Novo, one Cotonou, and one Paraco, stuff like that. So you're very, very limited. It's just narrow. If you have more skill, like you're someone who is inclined on arts, you're not going to make it in our environment because we don't value art. If you're good in music, you're not going to go far because they don't teach music. They don't give any value to those art. They will tell you, we want you to learn, right? You have to be good at math, biology. That's all they need you to focus on. And we came from that background, and they don't recognize those skills. It's only when you travel abroad that you'll be able to explore the other possibility, the potential that you have. But compared to home for my kid, I think they have more luck. Beyond was able to do some music practice. Sarah was able to do some other debate and other thing, and that we didn't get a chance to. So until today, I sit trying to figure out what I'm good at because I'm still at school for myself, right? Beyond graduating high school on Friday, and probably I might go to school one way or another for myself. And so these questions are good for me. What do I want to explore, right? And going back to the book, other stuff they talk about, like at school, you have bullying, you have other stuff that they do at school. But if you raise at home, your parent will take care of most of the things. And just a few words to finish. Also, we tend to value more the people who went to school with formal degree, with the paper, right? Even though they don't know how to do. And a simple example, if you go to vocational school or through apprenticeship, you see people who are very good in electricity, they're good in carpentry, but they don't have a degree, they don't have any paper. But those who went to school, who got the degree, they don't know how to do the work, right? That's a kind of, again, to finish, I would say education is not only at school. That's where I will stop at. When I get a chance, I can continue on my thinking. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thomas.
Thank you, Fred and Olivia.
Thank you, Fred Thomas.
Well, I can go ahead and chip in right quick. First, I want to thank Fred Aaron for a great presentation, and this whoever suggested this book is very good. So, so how can um, how can we better understand our children' unique style? That's what I will talk on. I think, but if I take our example here, our two children, they have different learning style, right? They have different learning. Sure, can learn and read a book faster and do multiple classes together, right? However, on the other side, Beyond kind of focus on one thing at a time, right? When you give him two classes or less, not a lot of classes, he does better on what he's doing than if you put a lot on him at the same time. So their learning style is different. So as a parent, we have to understand that they're different. Their learning style is different, and not expecting one to do exactly like the other one. And it's the same for us, right? When we are going to school, sometimes for me, for example, for me to remember something, I have to read, hear it for myself, and touch it, and it's easy for me to remember, especially when I'm doing those biologic experience. When I do it myself, read the steps, and hear myself talk the step to myself. I have to hear it, touch it, and see it to be able to remember and learn better from that uh, that standpoint. So how do we understand? We have to observe our kid. We have to observe how they behave, how they produce, they kind of they work, right? We should not expect one to be exactly like the older one. Just observe them and see what they can do. And that's what I will say on that, just by observation and advising them, guiding them, asking them questions. What do you want? What you are good at? What can we support you at? And not putting what we want on our kid. So that's what I would say. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. Mhm.
Thank you, Dr. Kalam.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go quickly. Good evening, everyone. And thank you, Sharon, for the book. Great presentation. So I will go with question number 5. In what way can we, as parents, support our children's creative development? So I think we should. I will go, specific, specific way. So if we have like boys and girls, right, we should, as parents, um, make sure that we don't, or we don't um, categorized like specific things, specific jobs, or specific stuff that ladies have to do, and specific things that boys have to do, right? Because we are all coming from back home where we all know that there are some type of jobs even here that as a woman, you can't even, imagine, or you can't even think like, hey, I'm gonna do this, or you know, there are certain type of jobs that are already, defined, quote unquote, for men's, right? So, we are in a little different environment, so we have to make sure that if you have uh, baby girls or baby boys, you have to make sure that we do not, stigmatize or already categorize them like, hey, this is what you're going to do as a lady, this is what you're going to do as a boy. You have to, like Tatakalam say, we have to listen to them, be flexible, discuss with children, as parents, listen to them and be flexible. Take them out, other than the standardized way of school that we have right now, but try to like take them out to do other stuff, right? Like music, maybe play, do some exercise. I mean, sports. You know, try just try to diversify. Uh, you know, diversify the type of activities that they'll be doing. Other than the school, other than the standardized school, just to help them to be creative, right? To develop their mindset, to help them to think different ways, and help them basically to not only be focused on the standard way of doing stuff, and discuss with them, and also as a parent, we try we also have to try ourselves, to educate ourselves better how to educate kids, because uh, it's not we have to learn how to do it. Sometimes as a parent we tend to think that okay, we know everything, but we don't. We have to learn how to do it better. So yeah, that's what I can say. Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right, Steve, thank you.
Thank
So
you.
much. Okay, who is next? Charlie.
Yeah.
You have
Oh,
got to.
am I the only one left? Okay.
Beyond
Yeah.
want to talk,
Fatou
but
Bion
he's on
Sira.
mute.
Oh, no, you
I'm
are
not
not.
on mute, right?
They say hello.
No, Beyond is on mute.
No, we can hear
Okay,
you.
can hear me. Thank you very much, Fred Aaron, for the book. I named for the presentation. Okay, and it's extensively, developed, and I always value your PowerPoint as a reference for whatever book you present. And thank you so much for putting enough effort into getting all the good stuff out. I almost finished the book. I got so fascinated by this book. And even though I wasn't surprised, I learned a lot. And I wouldn't be able to, focus only on educational aspect of it, but there are certain key things that almost everything about the education has been said. Everyone is touching very good points, especially Fred Arun, extensively developed it. That was already fantastic. And uh, talking about the way we should understand ourselves and the way we should understand who we are, and thereby project it into what or who our children are, is what exactly the society has done by defining us as, male, female, or boy, girl, man, women. This book has gone into more detail by showing that it is not only X or Y, X and Y that is used to define human, gender or personality, but rather 8 different personality traits or a biological attributes that could be used to define people. And with those eight different biological attributes, we have about 52 different kind of people, not just woman or one, not just boy or girl. Now, the physiology is there. From physiology, we go to gender, how people identify themselves. And from gender, how people even portray themselves. What kind of hormone that they produce to, and so on and so. So it is very complex. In short, everyone is just unique. There's nothing like man, woman, and this is how they are supposed to be. Knowing that, then it comes to how we could help one another to grow whatever talent or whatever trait that the person has that is dominant in the person. So knowing that we don't have to be too much biased. This is a boy. this is a girl, and start thinking boy direction or girl direction. That will help us a lot into how we will craft the way we can observe who we have in front of us and then guide that person into what we could do the best to help that person. And two key things that I would like to mention very quickly is, as he showed all the parenting style, they ended up with multiple study realizing that authoritative parents, thereby the one who can be firm, showing what, at least based upon fact, is right to the children, but build the communication style associated with it, not just being how do they call the other one? Just make a decision and move on, get it done, but show firmly whatever you think could help the child move, and then help the child understand your decision and make that child cooperate or involve into the communication. And the second one, homeschool or going to school, I think going to get that social aspect, which is more than the physical aspect in ourselves, because the physically they end up finding that we are only 49%, but the genetic is built with 51% out of the society or of the social life that we have. So letting those child being exposed, being challenged in the school environment is very important. And homeschooling is already what we do every evening, all the time. What we do the first 3-4 years before those kids start going out is part of it. And what we continue doing every evening or every weekend with those children is already part of homeschool. And if the option is allowed, we could go further by doing more than that, by keeping them and providing them other support to doing what they have to do to be who they really are themselves, not who a society or somebody think they should be. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
No
Henry.
problem.
All right. Beyond, you want to say something?
Remember,
You are muted.
Bill, you are muted. Remember, you don't have to, right, to talk every week. If
Yeah.
someone doesn't want to talk, it's okay. Because
Yeah,
when the
but-
group gonna grow, we won't be able to have everyone to talk every day.
Yeah,
But right
I
now, okay.
agree. But Beyond, you want to say something?
Yeah, and mute yourself.
Beyond, you are muted. Beyond, you are muted.
Can you hear? I don't know if you can hear.
He can hear.
Okay, I guess I'll go. If
Okay,
he's...
sure, we'll go. Beyond, get ready to unmute yourself.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, sure.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can see
No,
you.
we have the thing. So
Well, either way. Okay, so I'll just go through some of the things I wrote down pretty quickly. So first, the idea of homeschooling, it is good to want to be more involved in the teaching of your kids, right? But just like a basic fact about teaching in school is that there's a lot of training that goes into being a teacher. And all of these people have like bachelor's degrees and spend decades studying this. And then they're also working in like a team, right? So no matter how well you feel that you're doing at homeschooling, there's always going to be something you're missing. And that's why there's like all of these mechanisms around like, oh, you need to report these tests for homeschooling and all of these things, right? So I would say if you are going to homeschool, just be very careful about that because you can miss out on important things in education that they would have gotten at school. Adding on to that, it's important to like supplement education at home on top of what they learn at school because school doesn't teach everything and school isn't really meant to teach everything, right? So another idea I wanted to add on was the idea that school isn't just for work, right? It's also for society because there's a lot of things that school teaches you that aren't like immediately useful in the workplace, but having everyone be able to do basic math is important because everyone needs to be able to handle their finances, right? So school is for teaching you how to do things in the workplace, but there's also like the baseline of knowledge that is important for like a functioning society. That's also an important part of school that like everyone leaves out. Also, we use school to just make better decisions as a collective, right? Another idea I wanted to add on is that a majority of people do not have degrees, right? 40% of people, it's like 38, 39 of people aged 25 plus have a bachelor's degree, right? And this is usually concentrated in like big cities, right? So not everyone has a degree, and there are many things that like the 60% is contributing to society that are incredibly important that aren't tied to the degree, right? So the degree isn't the end all be all. A degree just means that you went to school and you went through the motions, right? But there's also that baseline knowledge, right? There are some pros and cons to everything. Another big idea I want to emphasize is teamwork. Like, there's so much teamwork that happens in school that is like incredibly important that just cannot happen in like a homeschooling environment, because ironically, as you try to add that like teamwork aspect to homeschooling, it gradually just becomes school as they interact with more and more children during the school day, right? Another quote, I actually wanted to just cite a quote. I don't remember who said this, but it was about software development, right? And the quote is that some of the best developers in the world have degrees, but not all of them do. However, all of the worst developers in the world have degrees, right? So you are competing with a lot of people, and the degree is a basic tool that like helps you compete with those people, right? Like, our society is designed around these strong educational systems, and if we just like completely disregard them, then we'll disadvantage ourselves in society, right? um, Another important thing I wanted to add is that extracurriculars, in my opinion, are arguably the most important thing in school beyond the actual education, because the two hardest years I ever had in schooling were my freshman and sophomore year of college, and those were the only 2 years I wasn't in extracurriculars. And then, like, the end of my sophomore year, I joined a electrical engineering society, IEEE, just to study with people, just to have people to collaborate with, have people to teamwork with, right? So it's like that extracurricular aspect is really, really important. And then the last big thing I want to add is that the system is always changing, and there are always going to be new things that happen within education, right? And like, my parents can attest to this, right? Like, my brother will have things that he has to fill out or things he has to interact with that I just never heard of, even though I graduated 5 years ago, right? So you have to just be on top of it, and everything will be different with every kid. And I just want to close out there, and hope everyone has a good night. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good point. Good point.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I really like your input. Yes, schooling is different, and I think Charlie also mentioned this social aspect of going to school, right? And you also mentioned uh, home education has to supplement what the kid is learning at school as well. But yeah, those are all great ideas. So we all learn from it, and to get our takeaway from it and act upon it, right? Anything else?
Bio,
No, I would like to. Oh,
Bio is
Go
the
go
ahead.
ahead. If Bian want to talk, go ahead, Bian.
Okay. I want to thank Arun for the great presentation. And I'm going to try and answer discussion question 4.
okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
How to
Tradition. How do standardized tests impact your child's learning experience? Well,
mhm.
he often prioritizes memorization over creativity, problem solving, and critical thinking. And this can stifles creativity by discouraging from exploring unconventional ideas or approaches. And the emphasis on test scores can overshadow other important aspects like curiosity, engagement, and joy discovery. And it also may not accurately represent the learning of all students, it's like those who learn and demonstrate proficiency in different ways.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Thank you, Bion.
Thank you. Yeah. That is true. Those standardized tests are not meant for everybody, right? Some kids, that's not their learning style. Their learning style will not allow them to pass the exam, right?
Right.
Like today, I had to take a test for my work, and I was reading the material was so long. I'm like, that would be a waste of time. I just went straight to take my test, and I went with process of elimination to answer my questions. So, which is good, right?
So I know it's 10 o'clock.
Oh,
Yeah, but I don't want to cut you, but I just want a 2-minute thing to just because we can put the book back in what is school and what is school for. What are the goals of school, right? If we put it back that way, then we can answer how we want our kid to go to school and what school they're gonna go to. Because you have many schools, right? You have the Street University of Houston, right? When you have friend outside, that's a school. In the household, it's a school. At the formal school from the government over there also is another school, right? And so you have to, and also you have to look at also the prospect when you take the book. It might say something here in the US, but different thing in other country. When I was growing up, I have like maybe around 50 to 60 cousins and stuff around same age. So by ourselves, we are already school, right? And you learn so many things in that environment. And now what I would like to say is like here, as well as home, we learn some stuff that we don't need at all at school. Like why they teach dinosaur at school? So no, everyone don't need to know the name of the crypto research, all of those things, right? And we waste time to learn all of those things. It's good to know. It's good to know that back in the days, it was sometimes some animal, and now some people who want to do history and biology will focus on that. But let me finish it, and
I'll
you
let
take
you
over.
finish, and I'll say the same line I said last time.
And then why they had to teach all of those things to the kid. When you finish high school, you finish university, you get in life, you don't even know, we don't even know what is a mortgage, how it works, right? That's what you need to know, right? The practical aspect of the thing, like they teach us pi, epsilon, limits. What do we do with limit in our regular life? So my thinking is some stuff are good to know, but just a few people really need to know some stuff. Not everyone need to sit down to learn how to use a compass. What do you do with compass after you finish the math class in your real life? Have you ever?
When you go camping.
So, but I'm not. There's so many stuff. I just want to put the thing back in prospect of me. Like right now, the thing that the thing that I'm doing with Bion are not the same thing that I did with Shire, right? And because I look at life and I look, okay, these are pim. This is the thing that is gonna help you when you go out there. Nobody will ever ask you a question about dinosaur in your life after school. Nobody, except you go to National Geographic when you sit down, right? So many things like that. Now I'll let Shirel take it.
I will say now the same thing that I said the last time he said this. They teach you about dinosaurs at school, so you don't go on TV and say dinosaurs aren't real, right? It ties back to the thing I said earlier. A baseline of education for a functioning society. Also, you mentioned the dinosaur, but they spend like 2 or 3 days on this in like elementary school. This is not like a long overarching thing, right? And something really important I want to emphasize is you will be surprised about how little you know about dinosaurs despite what they taught you, right? Because there are people who dedicate their whole lives to studying this, right?
Yeah, I agree with, like I say, it's good to know back in the day there was some animal that don't exist today anymore, right? And too much about dinosaurs. No. Now, if you teach me how to find gold, gold also is from that old time also, and we still use it today. It's a value against every currency in every country. If you teach me how to find gold, how to prospect gold, if I see this on the ground in an area, it's probably you have gold below over there. Why they don't teach that? And they teach the dinosaur.
I can actually answer that question too.
Yeah.